Hey, people, this is the time. I mean, we are legitimately worth a shit this year.
Oh, yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, outsiders of all ages. It's 8:30 on a Wednesday. Grab your beverage. It's time for the Outsiders after practice has officially started for the Texas Longhorns. You're 31 days away from kick, and we are going to have a good time tonight, as always. First off, we want to send out nothing but the best to our man, Jason Dick. He's got some things he's taking care of tonight. So Bear Dick is not here, but this always is.
Bear Dick. Rawr! It would have been so much better if we played Baylor this year.
That would be, yeah, exactly. Yeah, that would be really nice. That would
a little quick conversation with CDC and have that thrown up on the jumbotron to bring him out in the fourth quarter.
That would be good. We will check we will. That'd be awesome.
Hold
we
on.
will check the spec chat in a second. Let's remind you that it is the Outsiders, brought to you by Poncho. There's Colt in that poncho shirt. PonchoOutdoors.com, but you don't have to look too far to find them. You got Bo in a poncho shirt tonight. And fellas, I just figured, since I've been talking about these t-shirts and how comfortable they are, and I've been sleeping in this thing, so I thought I'll just wear my jammies for the Outsiders. It's the first time I've done a show in the jammies, so I'm just ready to go.
Hey, we are the Outsiders, and let me say, I am a shirt sleeper myself because I'm a hot sleeper, but for whatever reason, having a shirt on, I sleep better that way, right?
Yep.
I've been sleeping in the poncho t-shirts. Like, I've got a collection of about 5 of them now, and that is my sleep because they are the most comfortable freaking shirt. They're like, for those of you that know, Tommy John underwear are the greatest thing that's ever invented, and poncho shirts are the greatest sleep shirts ever invented.
Wow. I did not think we were going to get the Chance Mock recommendation for what to sleep in, gentlemen, but there you go. And ladies, maybe too. I mean, maybe everybody should be sleeping in this.
Every woman should have their husband or boyfriend's poncho shirt, and that's what they should sleep in.
See,
That's
my
it.
wife is probably watching the show at the moment, and she's wishing that I wore a poncho shirt to sleep in instead of no shirt. She's
There
like,
you go.
can you take the advice of Chance and Chad and put a fucking shirt on?
There it is. Shout out to Poncho, PonchoOutdoors.com for all those great shirts of all types. We got folks jumping in the specs chat already. Some yo fellas from Eric. What's up, Eric? Hope you're doing well. Our man, Chris Bennett, he doesn't care about a time zone. He's checking in from Washington State, as always. Mr. Bennett, we hope you are doing well. And this is just a Hook'em 253 from Jesse. I don't know if that's a code or what 253 is, but okay. Maybe is that a little area code, love, from the 253? I don't know where that is.
I know where Mr. 305 lives because he came here, but I don't know where the 523 is at.
I don't know where that one is. We will get into that. If you want to throw us a chat, we will take it. Obviously, the super chat will be much appreciated if you want to throw something in the old tip jar. Gentlemen, it is Wednesday, of course. Chance Mock. It's the Mock 5. We're in T formation tonight. Our quarterback is in the upper left. Chance, by the way, just want you to know the Bills pin, as you see, did make it to Cisco, Texas with me. What are we drinking tonight?
Tonight, I'm going with the good old-fashioned, well, you can't see it, it's backwards. For those of you that know, I'm doing the show from my phone today, and I can't turn the camera. I apologize for my unprofessionalism. I'm drinking the Dos Equis Zero. It's the lime and salt edition, and it's delicious.
Oh,
I wish y'all could see that.
I like it.
It's the 2X's, and it's the zero because it's non-alcoholic.
Look at you. Look at Chance being responsible during the Outsiders. We always say you don't have to have an alcoholic beverage for a What Are You Drinking Wednesday. You can go whatever you like. Whatever you like. You can do that. You can go with the Mick Ultra, whatever you want. Bo Edge is your country gorilla. He is in the T formation. He'll be taking direct snaps tonight. Bo, what are we drinking?
MVP vodka.
The stuff.
Got the tonic water, got the vodka, little spritz of grapefruit in there.
Little spritz of grapefruit, and we knocked the camera around. That's nice. There's the side of Bo's room. There we go.
The headphones got caught in it. And this is my first cocktail, so what's that going to do?
Too much. Too much MVP vodka. Gentlemen, if you need a hint for what I'm drinking tonight, the boys are thirsty in Atlanta, and there's beer in Texarkana. If it was good enough for Smokey and the Bandit, it's good enough for me. How about a little Coors Heavy in a stubby bottle? You can't beat that. Let's go.
No, you can't. Hey, I need you to pull up the chat, though.
Okay.
Real or not real, Amon-Ra St. Brown's dad is on our chat screen. At least in name.
Oh, it could be. This could be him. Just moved back to Texas after 5
John
years
Brown.
in Germany. Damn, it feels good to be back home. Can't wait to watch football at a normal time. John, welcome back. Football at a normal time will be a good deal. Yes, 31 days until kickoff. So, gentlemen, practice began today. Actual fall practice began today. Chance Mock, since you have actually been involved in this, give me like what do you think of when you hear fall practice has begun? What's the memory? What's the imagery? What's the thought in your head when we say fall practice?
Well, for the young guys, for the guys that are new on campus, for the freshmen, even for the guys that came in, at the fall break and went through spring training, it's exciting. I remember my freshman year, and this was before we had the bubble built, right? So we still did spring training. We still went over to the fields, to the intramural fields. We had to ride the Yellow Dog bus over there. And Mac Brown, that was the last time he brought the Bluebell ice cream truck out to practice. They fling open the doors. They're like, this is for you guys. Like, that was our treat, right? So there's a lot of excitement. But I'll tell you, when you get to be older, your second year, third, fourth year, all I ever thought about my first 3 days were lock in for the first 3 days, because it's a grind. Let's be real about, and it's probably gotten easier because it's gotten a little soft, but your day, every minute of your day is filled from 6:30 in the morning, first meetings, first practice, come home from practice, you get lunch, you break down film. They give you an hour. And let me tell you something, that 1 hour that you have off, you have never seen a group of guys so fast to get to their bed, lay down, and fall asleep in 30 seconds and have that timer set for 40 minutes just to catch that quick nap, back for more meetings, another practice, shower, come back for walkthrough. You get back to your dorm at 9:30 at night. So it's full, right? But the first 3 days, once you get through the first 3 days, you get into the flow of things, right? So my mindset, every time we reported to camp, the first 3 days, I was like, I'm locked in these first 3 days because I just needed to get in the routine. And once I did that, so it feels good to get out on the field, but it can be very, very overwhelming for these young guys because most of them, all of them, because they don't allow it in high school. They've never been through a camp situation like this where they're consuming 15, 18 hours of your day. Mm-hmm. So it's a grind, but it's a fun grind. It's one that as you get older, like I said, you get locked in and you realize that bonding time. And I can tell you my favorite thing that used to crack me up. You're on campus during training camp. I'm with all these behemoths. They're the only ones that I'm around, right? I'm 6'3", 220. Those at the time, those guys are all like 6'5", 6'6", 300 pounds, and you're around them, you feel like a midget. But then when class comes and you go out on campus like with normal human beings, I felt like a freaking giant because
that's funny.
I was the little guy for a month, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, this is what normal people look like.
You're like, I am tall. My friends always said I was tall. They were right.
Right.
That is fantastic.
Well,
by the way, for both of you and for all the fans watching right now, did you guys check out your orangebloods.com practice notes? Do you know who the first 3 wide receivers were getting 1 reps today? Bo, did you look? Do you know?
I did look, and I was going to say, for fans, it's the opposite of what Chance is describing because it's like drinking water through a fire hose. Not Brent Venables style, but drinking water through a fire hose with information. And the information, and Chance, you can tell me if I'm off base here, but what happens the first few days is some acclimation. Some of the seniors are going to get a little more bumped up the depth chart for the first couple of days. The young guys are going to have to fight their way up. They're not just going to gift wrap to the transfers and the young guys starting positions on day one. But everybody gets so, oh my God, so-and-so was that. I'm not talking about what you're talking about, Chad, with the wide receivers, but I'm talking about when they're talking about lineman rotations. Well, there's 15 of them. They're going to work them through for our first few days, and then you'll see the actual starters start to emerge, and a depth chart comes out. I did look at it, Chad, and it was Isaiah Bond, Jonte Cook, and DeAndre Moore.
Yes.
Were the three that started with. In the second rotation, from what I read, Golden was actually playing in the slot where DeAndre Moore was, Ryan Wingo, and Silas Bolden. And I think what that shows you, that's your 6-man rotation. Other guys will work their way in, but that's kind of showing you who. Then they become interchangeable. Then you could see Wingo be the starter one week at a. You would see the same 3 receivers, but those are the 6 they're going to be rotating. And if you read the notes from the coordinator availability, they were very upfront that a lot of guys are going to play early. It's a long damn season in the heat of Texas. Now that they have more depth, they're going to use the depth. This isn't college football 25 where you're trying to make All-Americans on your team. This is win damn games and get guys reps.
Yeah, and if you missed that third wave, that would be Butler, Niblett, and Livingstone in terms of those reps. I know that was what I was looking for and a lot of other people were looking for in terms of practice. And there's a lot of other notes to check out at orangebloods.com. By the way, we've been mentioning this for a while. We will also mention it on the Outsiders. There is an incredible deal going on with orangebloods.com, 2-month free trial. There's your QR code. August and September. For free to figure out what all the fuss is about, and then you'll be locked in. Promo code is good right now. Join OB24. You are getting 2 months free to check it out. You'll be getting all these practice notes and all the cool stuff that is out there. So, Chance, I wanted to ask you a question. The reason I brought up receivers is I'm fascinated by this experience where the quarterback has all the experience, but the receivers don't have the experience with him. Quinn Ewers has thrown exactly no touchdowns to any of these wide receivers. He's thrown more touchdown passes to Tavondre Sweat than he has thrown to these receivers combined. And he has thrown 6 combined passes to all of these guys, and they were all to Jonte Cook. So, Chance, give me a thought. You're the experienced quarterback. They are all sort of new to you receivers. What do you need from them in those first 3 days you were talking about? What do you want them to know? What do you need to know from them? How do you start to build the chemistry as you're starting practice?
Well, I go back to how Chris Sims and Major Applewhite brought in Roy, BJ Sloan, and Tony Jeffries, right? I go back and look at that because I was blessed that by the time I was the starter, I had, Bo Scape, David Thomas, Roy Williams, BJ Johnson, Sloan Thomas. Like, I had a plethora of people. At that time, you had Montrell Flowers, who was a returning guy. You had Artie Ellis. We had Big Mike Jones, who was a returning tight end. But those guys we knew. In summer camp, we knew. And I watched those guys. And yes, Quinn, today's the first day of practice of camp, right? Quinn has probably spent 3 to 4 hours a day for the last 3 months throwing with these guys. They're on sync. They're fine. Like, I watch Chris and Major make Roy and BJ specifically, Sloan as well, that he made them get in the rotation early throughout summer training camp. And at that time, we had Texas Lutheran and Texas State would both come up and, we kind of do these player-led scrimmages, right? We do 7-on-7 with ourselves. And Chris and Major would make, he didn't, let me read. They all wanted to be on the field, but they would take the leadership position with some of the older guys. Hey, Artie, let Roy get in here. Hey, Montrell, let BJ get in here, and make them get those reps and get those lots. So by the time you get to camp, you've already been working with the guys. You haven't thrown game snaps. You haven't had game speed, but, some of those got pretty spirited. We had several fights occur, but it was all self-regulated. There's no coach to break up the fights, so it was all good. But so that's what I think. I think Quinn saw what's coming in. Everything that I've read, everybody that I've talked to, Quinn's maturity level from Mullet Day Quinn to where Quinn is today is so significant. I don't think it can be exaggerated, right? Like, you got a 5-star guy, Mr. Everything. He was, the greatest thing since sliced bread, whatever, right? Well, that guy, as good as he was in high school, has matured and turned into a leader. Not just I'm the leader because I'm Quinn Ewers. He's turned into a leader because of the work ethic and because of how he approaches each day. So I look, I think for fans it's exciting, and I'm with Bo. Those young guys, they're going to have to earn their way onto the field. And I think Bolden is, some of his highlights today, he might be a walking highlight reel for Texas fans this year. Not that he's going to get the most reps, but he's one of those guys, he touches the ball and things happen, right? And I think both Quinn and Arch have the maturity. They're all on the same page. It's just a matter of time, and you got 3 tune-up games before you hit the stride in the SEC, and then, hey, by that time, they'll be oiled and ready to go.
I think Michigan would not like to be referred to as a tune-up game. But...
Yeah, that's probably true. Longhorn football edits asking, do they really throw that much off season? Overall, they do. Like Silas Bolden is one to ask about. Those guys, Silas wasn't in for spring, so that's a guy that maybe there hasn't been as much, but he was there for summer, right? Again, there's been reps there, so that timing I think will be there overall.
I hate saying this because they are a blue blood. They're a historic. Fuck Michigan. I really don't care.
Oh man,
there's a defending national champ. We can't call him a walkover.
It's
a real football game in the big house.
You know what, Chance? You need to be drinking alcohol on a Wednesday. No more non-alcoholic for you. That's just mean. What are you doing?
I can't explain it. It's like Penn State. Penn State's never done anything to me. Obviously, there's the Joe Paterno stuff that came later. I can't stand Penn State. I can't even stand to watch them play. There's everything about me drive, and it's the same way with Michigan. I think it goes back to the Rose Bowl game, the arrogance that those guys walked around Disneyland with, and I had a lot of love for Carr. He was a great coach, but Michigan, man, like I said, you know how I feel about Michigan.
Okay.
I think that's related to how you feel about Jim Harbaugh too, though.
It's very much related to Jim.
Speaking of that, fellas, I've seen some interesting predictions from Texas fans on that game. Let me get y'all's gut right now. If I make the line Texas by 9.5, what do you do?
I'm buying.
You'd lay it?
Yeah.
Okay. Chance, I feel, and Bo, I feel like there are Texas fans with a lot of confidence there. I've heard 14-point predictions and 21-point predictions, and I saw a 31.
I would take Michigan
today.
I would take Michigan getting 9 or 10 points. I think Texas wins the game. It's a road game in Ann Arbor early in the season, and the first game isn't going to tell you anything. Let's be real. The first game is not going to be where there's actual real pressure. Texas is going to win the first game, and it's going to be over by the middle of the third quarter, and guys are going to be getting reps. There will be a point, and it comes in every season for every team, where you get pushed a little bit. Michigan is they return a lot of guys from a national championship undefeated team. If you think they're just going to roll over and play dead, I don't believe that. They're still good on the offensive line. They're still good on the defensive line. Can Texas wear them out and win the game? Yeah, but if Texas won by 6 or 8 or 5 or something like that, it would not shock me in any way.
But Chad set the line at 9.5, and the number in my head was 10. That's where I think that if you'd have said 10.5, I'd have sold that one, because I think the number is 10, and this is why. They have their defense is going to be elite next year. They're going to be a very, very good defensive football team. However, I think Texas has game breakers that can make those plays, and I think their offense is going to struggle early. Do not mistake, Jim Harbaugh not being there is going to have an issue.
Yeah.
McCarthy not being there is going to – Corum not being – that is an issue on the offensive side of the ball.
No, they have offensive issues. I think their defense will be able to keep it into a much more defensive-minded game, and I think Texas is going to rely on its running game in that game. And yes, we'll hit a couple big plays, but if you're telling, I would rather have Michigan in the points if for no other reason than Texas, until proven otherwise, has shown that in fourth quarters of games, sometimes they go into a prevent may not be the right word, but they don't play the same defense when they get a lead, and that's the type of thing that Michigan could come back on and at least make it a game.
I could see it being a 24-13 type game. I mean, I legitimately.
I could see Texas being up 27-10, but when the dust settles, the final score is 27-20 because Texas gave up a bunch of points late playing. They haven't proven to me at the back end of games that they close it out with defense yet. That may be the evolution that Kwiatkowski brings to the table this year, but until proven otherwise, I'm double digits to the defending national champ at their house. No.
Okay, well, let me go to Chad because I want to ask Chad this because you've been. This is where I think the mentality last year was a build-up to the SEC. I don't care what anybody says. The amount of pressure that's riding on Texas going into the SEC to be receiving 27 first-place votes from SEC media and to be projected to be second playing in an SEC championship game, that's a shit ton of pressure to go into one of the most storied, if not the most storied conferences in college football. I think the mentality is completely different this year. I don't think you see the let up. If you do, let me tell you this. If you see a let up early in the season, then I'd be shocked if they came anywhere close to what the media has projected them to do this year.
Interesting. Texas and Michigan, obviously September 7th. We can talk more about that. We got a chat in a question, interesting question for Chance. But before you answer that question, Chance, I want you to tell the people about Arch. Not Arch Manning. We'll have some time to talk about him, maybe in a blowout of Colorado State. I want you to tell them about Arch Public tonight.
Arch Public, it's our guy, Tillman Holloway. He protected me when we were at Texas. He was my guard, and he always had my back. And he's had my back with this. We say it all the time because it's important. We're not financial advisors, and I'm not telling you what to do. All I'm telling you is Arch Public provides a platform to give you an opportunity to let the computers work for you in the market. It's fully liquidable. You don't give your money to anybody. It's your account. All you're using is the algorithms and the bots to go in, and they're finding the trade, and they're making the trade. I can speak from experience, and I'm just telling you, I'm up 22% on my money since May. 22% on your money is a pretty damn good deal. Again, Tillman and those guys, they're pretty damn smart. They've done a great job building this company, and the product that they put out there is fabulous. Just go check them out. It's worth a conversation. I'm at Chance Mock on Twitter. You can find me. If you shoot me a message, I'll hook you up with Tillman personally and make sure that you have an opportunity to talk to him. But the guys at Arch Public, hey, eggs are through the roof and everything else is costing more. Why not make your money work for you? And it's a beautiful thing. I wake up in the morning, I look at my account and I go, oh, look at that. Made $1,200 yesterday. It's a beautiful thing. Arch Public, scan that QR code or hit me up on Twitter. I'm more than happy to make a personal introduction to Tillman and Andrew and their team over there, and they'll give you the information. What you do with it is up to you, but I can tell you from personal experience, Arch Public has been phenomenal.
It is The Outsiders, brought to you by Poncho. Check out ponchooutdoors.com for all those great clothes, all that good stuff. Gentlemen, let's see if the chat wants to argue a little bit tonight. Bo Edge, let me know about something today. He might have feelings. Chance Mock might have feelings. All of you Longhorn fans might have feelings. ESPN put out a list of the top 25 college football players from 2000 to now, the top 25 players of the 20th century in college football. Where's Vince? Here we go. He's number 4. It's Ndamukong Suh, Baker, Cam, Vince, and Ed Reed as the top 5. Gentlemen, I'm going to leave this up a second. I want your reaction. Chance, if anybody could comment on where VY should be on this list, it's probably you. What do you think?
Well, number one, I think it's ridiculous that they have Baker and Cam ahead of Vince. Now, you could make the argument, I get it, with Cam. Because Cam,
I don't get it at all.
Cam was a one-man show. Let's be real. But I still think Baker up there, the fact that Baker Mayfield is above Tim Tebow is, I think, it has more to do with recency, and that's it. And commercials for State Farm or whatever the hell it was that that Baker was doing. Because if you look at Tim Tebow and what he was able to do, Reggie Bush, the impact he had on that USC football team, yeah, he was surrounded by stars, but Reggie Bush was a freak. And you've got Baker Mayfield as the second best player in college football since 2000. Like, I'm a real hard time putting him above Joe Burrow and what he did.
Well, I told Chad the same thing. If you want to put Tim Tebow as the first quarterback, he got 2 rings and played 4 years. Like, if you're making it a lifetime of college, if it's not a one-year wonder list, then Tim Tebow moves up. I get why Baker moves down. He should be on the list, but he never won a national title. Cam Newton had 1 good year. Joe Burrow's 1 year made Cam Newton's look like dog shit. Joe Burrow was 10 times the quarterback that Cam Newton was. Joe Burrow should be ahead of Cam Newton. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I just don't get it. I'm never going to argue Ndamukong Suh at the top because that guy was a man-child. Like, Ndamukong Suh was dominant at the college level for multiple years.
Oh, you have relatives that played at Nebraska. I don't know that I've ever seen an interior defensive lineman able to dictate a game the way Ndamukong Suh did for multiple years. Like, yes. He, by himself, I mean, I think Colt McCoy is still, like, under a pillow after that whole deal. Like, I think he hears the name Sue, and it may be a girl, and he still flinches. Like, it don't even have to be S-U-H. It can be S-U-E, and he hears it and flinches. That's how good. So I have no argument there. Where I have a problem is if you put Baker Mayfield up against Vince Young if they were to play, how does that game end up?
Vince wins.
Exactly. So how being number 2 is absolutely ridiculous.
I don't think
against Joe Burrow in 2019. How does that game end up?
We both know how to. I don't think Baker Mayfield could beat Tim Tebow in any athletic endeavor, and that includes washers, cornhole, horseshoes, water skiing, the little game you play at the resort houses where you throw the string and Tim Tebow is a better football player than Baker Mayfield.
I think
it didn't translate to the NFL, but let's be real, some of Baker's crap didn't translate in the NFL either. He's more of an NFL quarterback, but at the college level. From a college football standpoint, Tim Tebow was astronomically better.
Put that list up real quick, Chad, while he's talking.
We'll get it up there for you. Hang on 1 second. Let me get it. Why is it moving slow on me tonight? Here you go.
I'm thinking about another guy, and well, there's Kyler on there. Where's Johnny?
I do not see a Johnny.
And if you're going 1 year wonders, Johnny should be ahead of Kyler every day of the week and twice on Sunday. And I know that people aren't tuning in to hear us dissect this list forever, but this is the type of crap that pisses people off about the internet because people just put this together for guys like us to talk about it, and it's asinine.
Well, the interesting part for me, I always look at the discussion about, let's look at these guys at the top. Is Ndamukong Suh, Chance talked about it a little bit. Is he a better interior defensive lineman than Vince was a quarterback?
At the collegiate level, for a 4-year stretch, he was as dominant as any football player I've ever seen.
Okay. So you wouldn't have a problem with that. If that's kind of the criteria, I might ask, why isn't Ed Reed number 2? Like, if that's your theory, I don't know if I've ever seen a safety at the college level that was any more Ed Reed than Ed Reed. Make him number 2.
But see, my argument would be if you're going to put Ed Reed on there at the college level, there was another one from Texas that at least should warrant being in the top 25 because Earl Thomas at the collegiate level was as good as it got.
Yeah, I mean that's a good argument. I could throw him in. I could throw him into this discussion. Our man Chris Bennett wants to know where Matt Leinart is. Fellas, would you put Matt Leinart in this top 25?
No.
No?
I mean,
I'm different, though. I think Leinart was better in college personally.
He was.
He was better than Kyler Murray.
Well, I guess my opinion is only one guy from each team should be on that list. So if you're going to put somebody from that USC team, it should be Reggie Bush. It shouldn't be like, don't make the list the USC team, because honestly, Carson Palmer was a better quarterback at USC than Matt Leinart ever was. He didn't win a ring, and he didn't have Reggie Bush, and he didn't have Lendo White, and he didn't have all the weapons. But Carson Palmer was better.
Carson Palmer, arguably, and I had the good fortune of working with him in the original Elite 11 when he was one of our counselors. And technically speaking, Carson Palmer was so good. If he didn't get hurt and end up in a shit show that was Cincinnati, he was so good that he gets, again, I think it's recency is a big bias list.
So I want to change the conversation, Chad, though, to what happened. It was on Orange Bloods. Everybody, it's Nugget season. It's not just summer. It's Nugget season. Mm-hmm. Alex put his Nuggets up there. So did Anwar, and they're all on there. But I wanted to talk about the poster for the show, which was the camp battles, and ask Chance and you, Chance, do you believe there's any true battles going on for starting positions right now, or do you think that was already decided in the spring? The auxiliary summer workouts. Do you think the coaches have it written in marker on a whiteboard, and it's not the kind of marker you just erase real quick? Like, somebody's going to have to do something, or do you think there's actual position battles still going on?
I think there's serious, significant battles going on, especially with the younger guys. I think they've got to earn their spot. The wide receiver room, there's a lot of competition in that room, a lot. And we all know Sark's a guy that he's got to trust you, right? Like, you have to earn his trust. So I think there's I think you will see the rotation receiver. Why wouldn't you? Keep those guys fresh. As much as you're going to throw the ball, they're all going to get their catches. So I think there's a lot there. I think especially at the younger, you look at a guy like Colin Simmons. I see him very early in the season becoming a big part of the defense. But he's not there yet. I don't care what anybody says. He's not. Corey wasn't there day one. That's just – it's a different game. I used to tell people all the time when I'd come back to the Woodlands and people would ask, what's the biggest difference in college football versus high school? I'd say, well, number one, it's the speed. Number two, which is the most important, in high school, the big hits are pops. In college, the big hits are deep thuds. Like, it's not a pop. It is giant grown-ass men running into each other, and it's incredible collisions. So those things, look, Colin, he went through a spring camp. Wingo went through a spring camp. Got it. Wait till you get out there on Saturday and the lights are on and the TV's on and it's for the real deal. Shit changes. It gets a little faster and it gets a lot more intense. So those guys are going to have to prove this is a young team that's got a lot of young guys that could have, I say young guys, I mean, they're transfer guys, etc. right? We got a lot of new faces. Like Chad said, not one touchdown between the entire receiving core, right? So, no, I think you've got your staples that are set, right? You got your guys that are already on the first or second and third team all SEC list, and you got people on Maxwell watch lists, et cetera, et cetera. Those guys are.
I'm pretty sure Kelvin Banks isn't in a fight for his left tackle job,
right? But they're all. I mean, I think it's sort of. It's all of it, Bo. Like, to me, there's some that are locked in, but there's some that are not. The interesting thing that jumped out to me in day one would be that Jahdae Barron, a guy that was taken to SEC media days to represent this team, was third string nickel. What does that matter on day one? I don't know, but third string nickel. Jalen Gilbo's getting a lot of love, and he ran first team, and then McDonald ran second team, and Barron was third team. That's something to watch. That other corner position, I think, that's something to watch. Like, who ultimately is that other guy opposite Manny Muhammad? Those are the positions, I think, where it's a legitimate battle right now.
Well, and I think that's the exact type of story. I think by the 10th week or 10th day of this camp, Jahdae Barron will have his spot. They know what they have in Jahdae Barron. He's been around these coaches for a long time. He's a senior leader. They want to see Gilbo get back in the mix. They want to see the Cole kid from San Jose State. They want to see Manny Muhammad running his side like an island. They want to work these guys in. And everything you read is that one of the reasons Jahdae came back was because he wanted to play some outside. For him to be an NFL guy, he couldn't just be a nickelback. So they're trying to acclimate him to the outside. But now they have all these new guys they brought in. they want to see what they have too. They know what they have with Jahdae Barron. Like, he's not going to do anything that makes their eyes blow out. They know exactly what he is. And that's not a bad thing. He's a known commodity. You know, it's like you want to see, and Chance, tell me if I'm wrong. I mean, this is, you know, you've been in these rooms, but sometimes the first few weeks or first few days are to give these guys that haven't been there an opportunity to show it. All right, you think you're a badass kid from San Jose State? Go line up against Isaiah Bond and Ryan Wingo and see if you can cover them. Like, we want to see what you do, and not in a practice, not in a drill, scrimmage, game-like situations where it matters. Go fight for it. And then 10 days from now, Jahdae Barron will be the starter at right corner opposite Manny Muhammad, but they want to see the other guys pressure tested to know what they got when they have to throw them in against Michigan at the Big House.
Well, and let's not forget, these coaches, they sit in meetings. Obviously, they sit in their offensive meetings, they sit in their defensive meetings, but they have full staff meetings. And if you think for 1 second that they're not talking and they're working different matchups that they want to see at practice, guys lined up against, like you said, they may say, you know, hey, we want to see how this guy lines up and how he works against a guy like Silas Bolden, right? So those things are moving pieces that they are work. That's what camp is for. Like, you're going to see over the next 10 days probably 10 different rotations.
Well, it's like, and I'm not knocking the kid. He's a Longhorn to his core. He's from the Austin area. But Michael Taft was rolling out as a starting safety with Derek Williams. I don't think that's how it rolls out in the middle of the season. But Taft's a leader. He's vocal. He's going to coach guys into the right spots. Now, whether it's Makuba, whether it's somebody else, I think Taft will play. But I don't think Taft is like your write it in Sharpie marker free safety opposite Williams. I don't. Like, there's too many talented NFL-type players that your coach on the field is going to be out there the whole time. And, Chance, let me ask you this question real quick, because I was thinking about this while we were talking. For the receivers, because you've been in the room with the receivers, what matters more in late October? Targets or starting? Like, would a receiver rather get 8 targets in a game even though he came off the bench, or start and get 2?
They want the ball. That's it.
Yeah, they want the target. So the starting thing matters very little. It's the amount of times you're getting thrown to.
It is the Outsiders on a Wednesday night. More discussion coming up. First day of practice was today. Bo's going to tell you about Covert Ford, but first we're going to get him and all of you excited with a big old truck.
Is proud more than a Ford from Covert Ford of Austin. Deeply rooted in Texas history, the Covert family has taken great pride for over 114 years. That's why you can always depend on Covert Ford to deliver the best customer experience and a superior selection of new Ford vehicles. Shop online at covertford.com.
Covert Ford. Our boy Chris Abbott, one of the original Outsiders, is back. Summer of traveling for his son's baseball, the perfect game, All-American things and all that are done. He's sitting at his desk at Covert on 183. You like that red truck? You want to get it in black. You want to get it in blue. You want a new Raptor. You want a Bronco or even a Ford car. Covert Ford is a place. They've been here over 100 years. You'll always see a Covert on the showroom floor. Their service is great. What you want to do is go to a place that's local, takes care of you, and you got a guy, Christopher Abbott. Go talk to him. He'll get you set up. You'll be very happy. That's all I'm going to say. Covert Ford right there on 183.
There you have it. Shout out to Covert Ford and all the great partners.
I asked Kenny last week. I was in there. I was like, hey, Kenny, when did the Outsiders get the demo vehicles like some of the football team guys?
Yeah. Come on.
I was like,
now.
me and Chad need that red truck or, Raptor Bronco. He's like, he just started laughing.
Let's go. That crazy gear shift that like goes down, moves down by itself and plug in tailgates. Like, come on. Let's go. All right, a lot of good.
Can you imagine Chad with the vehicle with that many accessories?
I think it would be fantastic.
Chad's the one guy that would literally read the owner's manual soup to nuts to know every feature it had.
Hey, look, Chad could be doing the Outsiders with all of his equipment plugged into the bed of a truck, just sitting in the bed of a Covert truck.
And you know I would. You know what, Kenny, if you're out there, I would give you the craziest cool Covert Ford spot in the history of time because I do it plugged into one of your tailgates. Let's go.
Kenny, you have been challenged. We need to get Chad a truck that can do that, and then we'll do a broadcast from the truck.
Let's do it. Look at there. Our man Cody Carpentier is checking us out tonight. What's up, Cody? He's laughing out loud at something. You know what? Somebody in the chat earlier, this is rude. JW Crunch, rudeness. Put that bottle down, Chad. You're getting a little slow. No. I'm not getting a little slow. I said the system was running a little slow. Not this system, but just the
bunny down, Chad.
Yeah, exactly. It's probably a good idea. Probably a good idea. I think my mother might agree with JW Crunch. Maybe I need to move away from the Coors Heavy. All right. Thanks to everybody for jumping in the chat. This is just fun and rude at the same time. Howdy ho mofos from Fruckfru one. That's tough to say.
Is that like a Mr. Hanky reference? Or
is that what that was?
I don't know.
Okay. That's what it is. Gee, the outsiders smell like flowers. All right. So the first day of practice was today, as we talked about. It's 31 days till kick. What else are we excited about, boys? Practice has started. What are we? I mean, we were just talking about, which camp battles do you believe? Which ones don't you believe? I mean, Bo, let me go to you. What's something that you read? Because you'll go to Orange Bloods and you're looking at these practice reports. Anwar has stuff that's already out today. Alex Dunlap, Jason Sukamel went and took pictures. Like, what's the first thing you want to do or read or see? What do you start looking at for practice that you think is real, that you think matters?
That's a good question because I think I want to hold my answer till next Wednesday.
Okay.
Because like I said, the first couple of days it's a lot of show. It's a lot of putting stuff out there. There's agendas from the coaches on what they want to see how kids react. Like they may bounce a guy like Jahdae Barron. They may bounce in there and they tell them they're going to do this, but they want to show the young guys anybody can get moved down the depth chart. Anybody can get, but like they're sending messages. So I don't want to read too much into it, but the thing that I'm paying the most attention to, what matters to me, is the secondary. Because I really think that is going to be, if Texas is going to go where I hope and believe they will, the secondary, and not just the starters, too deep, has to be SEC ready to go through a gauntlet. So whether you're starting or whether you're coming in a rotation, Cole, Muhammad, Barron, Gilbo, the safeties, like I want to hear how they're doing, like who's actually proving it on the field. And the thing I look at is when Alex breaks down the one-on-ones with the corners, where they're like, Bond went up against Cole, and this is what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Golden went up against so-and-so, and this is what happened. Bolden went up against Gilbo, and this is what happened. That's what I want to see, is like because it shows you what kind of player they are. Because then you can relate, well, Bolden's a quick, phone booth speed, not a burner, but he's a guy that can get you, break a tackle on a phone booth. Well, when we're going up against a guy from Georgia that does the same thing, who can cover him? Like that's the side, like that inner type stuff is what I'm looking at.
Chance, how about you?
I want to see. So Bo hit something that's exactly right. These first couple of days where media is out there and everything else, you got the guys earning their ways. The coaches are showing things that they want people to see, et cetera, right? What I'll be interested to hear is the one-on-one battles, because that was when I knew Roy Williams is special. That's when, the first time I went out and Jamal Charles was a true freshman, and I just went out to practice to watch, and I was watching running backs and linebackers, and he made, I can't remember who it was. It might have been Bob. No, I can't remember, but he made somebody miss so, and then turned on the Jets. And I turned and looked at Matt, because look, the one-on-one stuff is it was typical. But he that's what I want to see. I want to see who's winning in one-on-one. I want to hear the rumors coming out of camp about who dominated. When I saw Roy Williams go up against Quentin Jammer and be able to win a battle in a one-on-one situation, that's when I went, all right, dude can play. because Quentin Jammer, we know how good he is, and he was a senior, and this is a true freshman and was able to get open. Did he win every matchup? No, he didn't. But he was able to win those deals. And I think, Bo, the main thing you hit on there, look, you have to be lucky as well as good to win national championships because you have to stay healthy. The ball has to bounce your way, all these things. When you go into the SEC, you have to have a 2 deep. Because if you don't have 2 deep, you're going to get killed. That is a physical league with some extremely talented athletes. Things are going to happen. If you're going to have a strong run through the SEC, you better be pretty damn deep. So that's going to be interesting to me to see how much depth that they can get. And I'm really interested, probably day, 1 weekend. Let's start hearing who's winning the one-on-one battles, and that'll be the real telltale.
Chance, please tell me that occasionally when you said something like that to Mac Brown, he swore back at you and you gave a little, we gave you a little, Chance, do you think I'm hiring slow motherfuckers? What are you talking about? Are you out of your goddamn mind? Did you get one of those?
I don't think I ever heard Mac Brown, as much doggy cussed.
That would have been awesome.
For both of them. Let's just put it that way.
Okay. All right.
Because Mac, I never, even when he was pissed, there was no cussing. That just was not wasn't his thing.
Okay. Good for him. All right. We had a couple of chat.
I bet Carl Reese let out a few blasts.
Yeah.
He did. And Carl, I'll tell you, Carl and I went back and forth one time because he was a Missouri guy. And he said it was Missouri. And I said, I is not pronounced A. Sorry. I don't know what they teach you in Missouri. And he's like, and we went back and forth one day just for 15 minutes. And he was not backing down from that. And there was a few cuss words in there.
Yeah, that's
like when people put an R in Washington and call it Washington.
It's like my grandmother. She washes clothes. And apparently horse is spelled H-A-R-S-E because my grandma will say, did you see that pretty horse? And I was like, I saw a horse.
Bo, I would agree with you, except when I was growing up, that's exactly how Tom Landry pronounced Washington. So I can't go against it because he'd do that show breakdown every week and look at the film and he'd talk about Washington, and I can't argue.
But it's when they overpronounce it, it's Washington. It's like there is no O either. It's like he added a bunch of letters.
Can't argue with Coach Landry. Can't argue with Coach Landry.
That's all right. You know what else you can't argue with, Chad?
Yes, sir.
How much more comfortable is this season knowing that Brett Audubon is our kicker this year? Or Bert
Did you say
Razor
Brett
still
Audubon?
has the shirt. Razor still has the shirt that Chance made and that says Brett Audubon is my kicker. But doesn't it feel good going into a season where you know you're going to have a couple games that actually come down to kicks at some point in the second half, to have a kicker that is an All-American type, that is an All-SEC type kicker. We didn't have that 2 years, like when Auburn came in.
Last year, Bo. Let's be honest, the kid has worked his way into.
Oh, yeah. Coming into last year, nobody had confidence in Bert Auburn. He was the shaggy-haired kid that they wanted to replace.
Yes, I was one of them. But
I know.
Hats off to that kid because he stepped up in a major way, and you're exactly right. I don't have any questions about the kicking game, but
the punter you do.
Oh yeah.
I was just about to say, how y'all feeling about a true freshman punter backed up by walk-ons?
I think they need to go get one of those women from the U.S. Sevens rugby team and let them do the kicking and call it a day. Because even if they don't kick it, they'll just run them the fuck over.
I was about to say, you might want to even let her deal with 4th and 1 because that was a trucking at the end of that game.
Is that not the coolest thing ever? You're down 12-7, time done, and then boom, just run over 2 people.
Hey, y'all can tell me because I don't know rugby that well. Is that what a prevent defense looks like in rugby? Because when she trucked that one play, it was done. It was over.
That was exactly what I was thinking. That you're up. Time is expiring. Why was there not at least one person standing back?
There were 2 people in her way. I think their thought was that at least they would slow her down. And she said, not on my watch.
Hey, Chance, I was with you. I was thinking, can I get a single high safety? Can I get somebody back?
You really
there?
think a single high safety would have stopped that girl? She was going to run over. You could have put Corey Reddy in front of her. He was going down for that moment.
You're right. That was a hell of an ending. That was good stuff. We got a couple more chats to get to. We're talking Texas football, obviously. Chance, why don't we let them tell you? No, why don't we let you tell them about Prodigy Mortgage and the man in the shirt? Let's go.
That's right, my guy Thad Lindsay there and his team. Scan that QR code. Right now, I know things get tight, but guess what? Rates are actually coming down. And it is, we're expecting the Fed to not lower it today, but they're expected to lower it in the middle of September, which will be good. You need to start talking to guys like that now. And that's the one you need to call. You need a quarterback to get your deal done. The worst thing in the world is you find the house. Your wife is so happy. She's in love. She has already built a home in her mind in that house. The worst thing you want to do is come home and be like, hey, our mortgage, they fumbled the freaking ball. Well, Thad and the team at Prodigy, they're not going to fumble. They're going to make sure your financing goes through, you get funded, you get the house that you want. That this year, when you're watching the Texas Longhorns beat the Georgia Bulldogs in Austin and you're watching on that 70-inch TV in your new house, you can thank Thad and his team for getting it by. Go ahead and check them out. Thad, Lindsay, his team, Prodigy Mortgage, they are, they're legitimately worth a shit. That's just the fact of the matter. Scan that QR code. They're the guys you want on your team.
Man, how about that? Chance Mock working in a bold prediction in the spot. I like that. Texas beating Georgia. I like it. It's good stuff. Good stuff. All right. We had some good chat.
To that, by the way.
I got confirmation yesterday that I have 2 tickets for me and Razor to go to that game, so I'm pumped.
Ready to go? Oh, that's good.
Oh,
that's very good. October 19th.
Got nice seats, and the best seats are the ones that are free. Like, there's no better ticket than the one that doesn't cost you a dime. So thumbs up to my friend that got that secured.
That is always good. All right, let's clean off the chats here. Our man Chris Bennett says, doesn't Lou Holtz say Washington? You know what, Chris Bennett, how dare you? I might say Washington. I could say Washington State. I might say Washington. I might say with you. And I might say shut up. I might do all of it. How about that? You okay with that?
Hey, speaking of Washington, Chad, I got to give a quick shout out to last weekend was Razor's birthday.
Mm-hmm.
The guys from Elite Sports got Razor this Byron Murphy Seahawks.
Ooh, look at that.
Signed by Byron. Old school Steve Largent Seahawks, not that newfangled crap. So that was one of Razor's birthday presents. And
awesome.
It wasn't cheap, but I reached out to him and said, hey, I need this in like a week. Showed up on his birthday, and here you go.
Dude, that's a Steve Largent, Jim Zorn, Chris Warren, my Aggie legend, Jacob Green. That's that level of Seahawks is what that. Kenny Easley. Remember Kenny Easley, the safety?
I'm telling you, Razor is one of like 10 Seattle Seahawks fans in the entire Central Texas area that like truly is devout Seahawks, knows their whole roster, like watch the NFL draft to see who the Seahawks took, like, you know, you do when you're that age, like excited, you know.
What do you mean that age? I had to watch the damn Buffalo Bills for 2 nights to get to our first round pick. But first round.
I was going to get him a Tavondre Sweat Titans jersey, but he wouldn't have liked it as much because it's my Titans team, and so we're going to do that later.
I was about to say, you need to get yourself a Sweat jersey, and then that's what y'all need to wear when you watch games. It'd be great.
I don't wear jerseys, Chad. I'm a grown man.
Okay, well, then that's sensible. Never mind.
45 years old.
You made the right choice.
I wear poncho shirts and hats. The jerseys
exactly
on the wall.
Yeah, let's do that.
The prize jersey in my collection of all the ones I have, and it's terrible, is a game-used Titans jersey signed by Marcus Mariota. Still sitting there in a frame. Didn't really pan out that well. When I got it, it was great.
Felt different when you purchased it.
There was a vibe. It's even got a little grass stain on it. Like, it was great. Well, now he sucks.
That is good. Bo, while we're talking about great things, why don't we tell people about the great thing that could be new windows on the house? Sometimes they need that stuff.
Heck yeah. Right now, guys, summer is here. It's really here today. It was like 100 freaking degrees outside. You can make your house look better, which will make your wife happy. You can make it cooler. You can just make it better. If you're looking to sell your house, what better way to make it appeal from the outside than new windows? You don't realize it, but when you see the pop, when you get new windows on your house, you will be amazed. And like I said, now the windows are all energy efficient. They're amazing. So whether it's replacement, new construction, vinyl, a sliding patio door, like you want to make a big splash going into your backyard, Texan Windows and my guy, Brian Haley. Brian Haley, his phone number is 987-8393. 987-8393. There's a QR code right there on the screen. Trust me, you want to make your wife happy this summer? Put new windows on your house, make it energy efficient, make it cooler, and make it look better. You'll be the hero. Brian Haley and Texan Windows will take care of you.
Hope everybody is having a good Wednesday night. About to round out July and head into August. Practice has begun. And Chris Bennett wants to know, Chance Mock, did you ever throw to Kyle Shanahan in practice?
I threw to Kyle Shanahan in games. I threw to
Dropped your tequila bottle.
Yeah, and like a true soldier, he turned around and hopped his happy ass back in his car and went and got me another one. Because that tequila bottle, I could not. And I gave him what pennies I had to go buy that bottle of Patron that he went, I got it. And as soon as it slipped out of his hand.
Man, yeah, those are rough moments. And
Chad, speaking of Kyle Shanahan, because this
yes.
made me think about it with his Mariota jersey, because I saw a highlight today. How'd you like to be a San Francisco fan that got a beautiful framed signed Trey Lance jersey, thinking that was the future of your franchise? And now he's just throwing picks to people for no reason at practice with the Cowboys. It's really impressive.
You mean he's not the future of Dallas?
Chad doesn't want to hear this. Dallas is in a shit world of trouble right now. They got Dak's contract coming back out. CD hadn't reported to camp yet. Like, they got some issues.
I have no idea what y'all are talking about. There are cap experts on the job. And I don't know if y'all know, there's artwork in the stadium. Are you aware of this? I don't know if y'all have ever seen this. They don't mention it very much, except on every broadcast at every break. There's artwork in the stadium. How can it not work out? Come on.
That's almost as bad as the Cincinnati. Did you see what the Cincinnati Bengals did in J.J. Watt's comment on Twitter about it?
No.
Cincinnati Bengals went on Twitter bragging about their 800-pound lockers that they've reinstalled into that crappy stadium because they're all state-of-the-art and have cooling systems and all this. And JJ's like, what the hell do you need 800 pounds of locker for? Maybe you need 800 pounds of offensive linemen to block for your damn quarterback.
Why would the weight of the locker matter?
I don't know, but that's what they were bragging. It was like 800-pound locker.
That's a weird flex.
That's strange. That is just really odd. It's like, yeah, that is very strange. Very strange. Look at the stern look on Chance's face. Chance, is someone in trouble? Is that a person or an animal that's in trouble? What a look you just gave. That was awesome. I'm going to get close up of that look. Give that look again for the people. That looked mean. Give that one again. Come on. Oh, my God. Did you see it, Bo?
That was Father Chance Mock staring at Cash doing something stupid.
That really was. People have said, like, I have a look that my daughter will say it, and I've worked with people that'll say, I have this look. It's like, but I don't think it's that mean.
No,
that was something.
I tell you, I spanked my child one time. I'm not against spanking. He just hasn't required it and he will tell you, I have a look, and I don't even know what the look is, but he's like, Dad, when you get that look, like,
the entire YouTube channel just saw that look.
Exactly. That was the look.
It's the same look. It's the same look that Roy Williams got the one time he dropped the ball back in 2002. It was that look. Like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, y'all go back to that. Check that out. That was absolutely something. All right, gentlemen, let me grab there was a one chat. What was this? Oh, I like this one. Somebody was asking or pointing out the point of last contact. Where did we leave off, Texas football? We couldn't bring Penix down, and our secondary was getting torched. Also, can Ewers and the new receivers gel? Bo, it speaks to what you were discussing in terms of secondary, plus you add some pass rush. And the thing that I think me and a whole lot of Texas fans would be looking for with this team is the last part, the gelling with the receivers. I mean, that's kind of what it's all about in college football, right?
And Chance, I think Chance agrees with me on this. I'm not worried about the receiver room. Like, if it was all freshmen, that's one thing. But look at, like, the guys that are coming in. Silas Bolden is a grown-ass man. He's played college football for multiple seasons. He's coming in to get a job. Like, Silas Bolden didn't come to Texas because he liked the Longhorns or because of a Lamborghini. He came to Texas because coming to Texas and starring with Quinn Ewers and Arch Manning gets him to the next level. Isaiah Bond, he was at Alabama and could have stayed there and been a starter. He made a business decision to come be one of Sark's receivers. You know, Jonte Cook was a 5-star, that hasn't got a chance yet. Like, these guys came here for a reason. Matthew Golden could have stayed at U of H and been a good football player. Like, these aren't 18-year-old freshmen that are coming on the field. They're guys. This is a job interview for the next 12 weeks that they're putting in work for. So I'm not as worried about the receivers. Like, what I'm worried about is the defensive tackles. Because I think you kind of brushed through it earlier when we were talking about jerseys. Texas lost not one, but two dominant defensive tackles in Murphy and Sweat. And I like Alfred Collins and Bernard Broughton and all those guys. But Texas couldn't generate that much pass rush with two anchors in the middle. What are they going to do when they don't even have that? So that means Colin Simmons, Barron Sorrell, Ethan Moore, Trey Moore, Ethan Burke, Colton Vosick, all of those guys, you better step your damn game up because we need the pass rush to come from the outside because we don't have boat anchors in the middle unless they improve to get there. But you can't guarantee that.
It's a good chat. We appreciate that. And let's see. Oh, this is a good one. A good double check for the season. Rex wanting to know, so you guys going to go back to Monday nights during the season. I like that show. Good recap of the football weekend. Rex, that is the plan for things to expand back out when we get to game week.
At least Monday and Wednesday. We'll have to see
I don't know
about
that. I don't know that we've officially decided how many shows a week. Are we going to go back to 3? And I think at least going back out to 2 shows probably does make sense. We'll have those discussions. But like I told someone that asked that exact question on the chat today, Rex, and it might have even been you, the views will make the decision for us. If the views go crazy and we can justify another show we will do it. So you guys speak it into existence with all those
in your
views.
room, download this 5,000 times. We'll be on every night.
Yes, exactly.
We will carve out time. If you're giving us 5,000 views an episode, we'll make time.
Exactly. Also, a big thanks to Morgan for giving me a little love. Truth Serum Tuesday was a home run on House Divided yesterday. All around. Claps all around for Chad. Oh, volleyball clap. Thank you. I got the volleyball clap from Morgan. Volleyball clap all around for Chad. He was a rock star going solo. It is true that, I don't know if that's true that it was a great show, but if you've wondered what it would sound like if Jeff Ketchum was not on House Divided and I had to ramble for like an hour and a half, I did that yesterday in the Tuesday show. So you can go check that out. Morgan, I appreciate the kind words. So gentlemen, before we show Colton the poncho shirt one more time, does anybody have anything else they would like to get off their chest this evening?
I do, since our cohort Jason is not here. We do have to have a dick move of the week.
Oh, okay.
And it's a 2-part dick move of the week. I can't do it justice because Jason had it because he tweeted about it earlier.
Mm-hmm. Well, hey, hold on, Bo. One second.
Dick. I really think you should send that to McLean Stadium and see if they'll play it at Baylor Bear games. Jason had a beef with Jack in the Box because apparently they canceled their chicken wings and their platters of whatever. And he sent his mom to go get the wings, and she goes, "They don't sell the wings anymore, these motherfuckers." And it was in the tweet that
when did Jack in the Box get wings?
They've had those Snoop Dogg munchie baskets like with little chicken wings.
Really? Bone in?
I don't eat Jack in the Box, so I don't know. The only time I eat Jack in the Box is when it's at a gas station when I'm traveling to Dallas or something.
Hey, Chance, you and I had the same look at the same time. Yeah. I have looked at that. I love Jack in the Box. It's an extensive menu. I feel like I know it. I get the pre-menu, and then I get the regular menu. I don't remember wings ever being on it.
I don't know. It was Jason's tweet, and I was trying to do him an homage since he's dealing with the rough family thing right now and couldn't be here to do it. And then I had my own dick move of the week.
Wait, okay.
to your boy, Chad.
Okay, hang on. Hold on. Before you get to my boy, Chance, are you backing me up here?
I'm backing you up. There was no wings. Jason was mistaken. He drank too much Moon Mist.
That is crazy.
They actually have great wings at Popeyes, not at Jack.
They do.
But let me say this. Bo Edge eats at one place, and that is Whataburger. Unless he's 37 beers in on a Saturday watching football, then he'll DoorDash the entire menu from Taco Bell.
That has happened.
That is good.
That has
That is
happened.
good. My theory is that wherever Jason Dick thinks he's getting Jack in the Box wings, he's actually walking into a wing stop, and the two places are just like really close to each other. I think that's what's happening.
Late night Saturday during football season, it's you pull up DoorDash for Taco Bell because you're not going to endanger the entire world by driving to and you just go and you just check all the boxes. Give me that. Like just order like 47 things for Taco Bell.
Oh my God!
And Chance calls me out like he wasn't sitting right there next to me at the table, just pounding through the burritos.
Wow! All right, so that was Jason's.
What was that, Chance?
I said I didn't order it. You did.
You partook.
All
He's
alone.
blaming it on you. Don't ever apologize for fourth meal, gentlemen. No one should ever apologize for
Chance
fourth
is in
meal.
the background getting hard tacos.
It is one of the joys of life. Bo, what is your dick move of the week?
I guess you can't even call him the starter since I didn't take him to SEC media days. But
Here we go.
the A&M quarterback throwing shade at Texas about how it's a given that the A&M Aggies are going to win this year against Texas. Hey, Connor, why don't you win 5 games in a season before you start calling everybody else out? Why don't you stay healthy enough to be on the field by the time Texas comes to Kyle Field? Because my guess is you won't be there. Have a nice day. Keep Texas out your mouth.
So A, I didn't realize Connor had said that, but B, it does kind of explain why he didn't go to Dallas, if you think about it. Like,
I think it does explain it because he's
is
going to
that
say
right?
things.
Did Mike Elko just thought he was going to go flamethrower in Dallas, so he thought maybe let's go ahead and keep Mr. Wigman home.
He literally said it was a given that the Aggies were going to beat Texas in Kyle Field.
He said, "Book it."
Yeah.
Oh my God. You gotta love unnecessary emphatic confidence. I always say be careful when you're emphatic. No one usually makes you be, unless you're a professional wrestler or a boxer trying to sell a fight. Nobody really ever makes you, and they never order you to be emphatic. Why do that? I don't get that.
Exact quote. That's a given. That's going to happen.
So
Come on, man.
But
Why
this is like the tale of two teams, right?
Yeah.
You look at Quinn Ewer's answer. His answer was very, very confident in his team, but at the same time was complimentary of A&M, and even threw in there that, hey, my dad told me back in the day this rivalry is bigger than Texas. He handled it perfectly, and then Wegman comes out and screw you guys. This is a done deal. We're good.
Hey, as much as I disagree, as much as I might disagree with the fact that he did it, gentlemen, at least I got my answer. Now I know why I was in Dallas at SEC Media Days and he was not. Now I get it. I totally understand. Thank you, Connor Wegman, for answering the question that nobody asked at Media Days and your coach never answered. Thank you for answering the question.
You got Cush from Jerry Maguire as your quarterback now, so get ready for Cush lash.
That's a good call. That's a good call.
Spewing whatever comes out.
Right. Not that game needed any more sauce on it, but apparently the quarterback on one side is going to throw that in. And now what is this comment, Bo? Maybe you can explain this. Chris Bennett's thrown it at us twice. Texas was his dream school. Has Wigman said that lately, or where'd that come from?
I never put too much stock into stuff like that. I mean, I think it was on Orange Bloods that originally he wanted to go to Texas, but Texas didn't recruit him, or at least not in the proper fashion to make him number one on their list, because he wasn't Texas's number one target. That's not a bad thing. Like, at the end of the day, Texas's target were Quinn Ewers. That was the primary, and not Connor Wigman. Texas also didn't get Cade Klubnik from freaking Westlake High. You have to make a decision. Texas chose Quinn. We'll see how that plays out.
Yep. All right, there you go, Chris Bennett. Also, Chris Bennett wanting to know what I thought of Deadpool and Wolverine. He loved it. Chris Bennett, I loved it. Loved it. I thought it was excellent. I think it might be the second best Marvel trilogy behind Iron Man, and I might put it in front of Guardians of the Galaxy. But all three versions of all that is great, but I loved it. If people love Deadpool, I mean, you got to know what you're getting into. Don't go taking your 8-year-old to see Deadpool and Wolverine, but it was fantastic.
Ryan Reynolds is just phenomenal. That really, he plays the character so freaking well.
He does.
It's like Van Wilder with a burned face and that doesn't die. Like,
It's a good way to say it. Yeah. It's a good way.
Does Hugh Jackman, this is my only question because I haven't seen it and I don't need all the spoilers, but does Hugh Jackman get into the comedic aspect of it, or is it much more Wolverine-ish?
Absolutely. He does exactly what I thought he would do. The acting chops, I mean, it's Hugh Jackman. The acting chops are above where Ryan Reynolds is, but he can give you serious. He can give you funny. He absolutely wrapped himself around the idea.
Have you seen the movie Waiting? How can you say that about Ryan Reynolds? Have you seen the movie Waiting?
I didn't say Ryan Reynolds isn't a great actor. I'm telling you, I think Hugh Jackman's a better actor. That's what I'm saying. You crank it up even further. They're terrific together in this movie. It is so good.
Did anybody show the brain? That's all I want.
Hey, speaking of Ryan Reynolds, have y'all seen that Welcome to Wrexham show?
Yes.
No, I've not seen any of that. I hear it's good.
You should invest some time in that because he has that same kind of dynamic with Rob McElhenney from Always Sunny, except for they've invested tens of millions of dollars in this crappy soccer team.
Right. Yeah, that's good stuff. Good stuff. Yes, I would highly recommend that to anybody. I am trying to figure out a way to go see it again in the theater. So Chris Bennett, thank you for that question. That is definitely going to happen. All right, before we head to the door, let's see if we can get you one more shot. Let's go Colt on the Move. Can we go Colt on the Move? Yes. It is The Outsiders, brought to you by Poncho. Look at Colt. He's on an ATV right there. Boys, I'll use this one to tell you the reason I'm out here in West-ish Texas is my dad's building a structure to put one of those bad boys in. He's going to get himself one of them EVs or ATVs or some kind of Vs, and I got to help him build the place to put it. And when we do, we'll invite Colt over. We'll have ATV races. It'll be fantastic.
And your Poncho shirt. Just think of that pocket where you put your phone. That could hold nails or snacks or any number of things.
Exactly. Oh, I've been dealing with all that. I've definitely been dealing with. Yes, this is my sleep shirt. I got them ready to go. I'm just going to end the show. When I hit the button to turn the show off, I'm going to just fall in bed. It's going to be fantastic. Bo's got the hat. Bo's got the shirt. PonchoOutdoors.com. Gentlemen, anything else that we need for tonight? We all good? Everybody done? Bo just froze a little. What?
Well, one thing I want to talk about next week because I want to see kind of how it plays out. This whole deal with Caleb Williams, he thinks he's Tom Brady. He's not playing in the preseason. Dude's never played an NFL game.
They're going to hold him the whole preseason?
That's what he said.
That might be – they should really let him do that because that would be about as chef's kiss as the Chicago Bears have ever been. Mwah, perfect. That'd be perfect.
They just gave DJ Moore, $110 million today?
That might be the stupidest contract I've ever heard of.
That'd be incredible.
No, he got it. It's 3 years, $110 million.
No, that's dumb. No, you're right. That's dumb. But if you could combine that with his quarterback, who has not, like Chance said, who literally has as many NFL reps as I do, just chilling, that would be hilarious.
Beyond how cool the guy is on his interviews, the backup for Chicago, you really want to root for him to take Caleb's job, Tyler Badgett, when he's talking about dominating his workouts. I'm like, what'd you do? Well, I did burpees for a mile. They're like, how does that translate to football? Yeah, that was his workout every day. He got up. It said it'd take about an hour and a half. He goes, I do burpee long jumps. I do a burpee and a long jump and a burpee and a long jump. He goes, how does that help your football? It really doesn't, but it makes you totally jacked.
I'm telling you. And by the way, aren't they the Hard Knocks team this year?
Yes. And Tyler Badgett is going to become America's superstar because if you saw his press conferences last year when he got the job for 3 weeks and talking about how he planned on being a middle school football coach and then somebody called him, so he said, fuck it. Like, what were you doing? He goes, I was just in the gym getting ripped. I had to go coach those kids.
I'm going to tell you what, fellas, I don't believe in preseason hard knocks, and I don't believe in season hard knocks. But the regular hard knocks, I'm all about. The preseason version is fine. The off season is what I meant. The off season with the Giants, I don't want that.
I haven't seen the last episode, but I have absolutely loved it.
And I have no interest, none, in the one in season. There's too much
the in
football
season
going
one's
on.
not very good because they don't show you anything of consequence.
Yeah.
It's all like the little stories.
But the Bears, please sit Caleb Williams. And you're right, Bo. Let that backup say everything.
Bro, can you hold on? You loved it, Bo, because I thought it made the Giants. You understood why their organization sucks.
Yes,
like it's the most inept display of running a football program I've ever fucking seen.
Right.
I don't disagree with the assessment, but it gives you some of that insight when they're going. Like, I loved listening to the phone calls between Joe Shine and the other GMs, or like you're hearing hearing them seeing the process from that vantage point was interesting. Like, because you don't really get it until you see it. Like, those guys got to go through that interview 33 or 32 times. And then go do it again, and then go do it again.
Who would be the best offseason? Just put Stephen Jones in there. Just let's
see.
Jones.
There's no need. Chance, the only reason I like that show, I don't watch it. I'm glad to know there's somebody out there that's worse than the Cowboys, but I don't need to watch that. I don't need to watch that, like full episodes of it. I just can't get into it.
You'd only want the Cowboys because they already did it once, but you want the Cowboys in the offseason version, watching Jerry Jones walking around. Yep. That's my guy. That's my guy.
No, I do not. I do not need extra versions of that.
I'll say the year that they did Hard Knocks was when my buddy Danny Amendola was actually with the Cowboys, and that's where he got his first real pop into stardom because he was returning punts for them and stuff like that. That's before he got the gig with the Patriots that burst him onto the scene, really. But that was a cool episode because Danny was he was that side guy that everybody was kind of rooting for, and it ended up paying off down the road. Not that season, but it was cool.
Mark my words: the star of Bears Hard Knocks is going to be Tyler Badgett.
By the way,
you put that guy in front of a microphone, he is hilarious.
Bo, our man Cody Carpentier has an extra piece of info if you don't have it. It says Badgett's dad is 10 times as psychotic. Travis Badgett. If you have never looked him up, search his name on YouTube once. You'll thank yourself.
Oh, yes, you will. I wasn't going to talk about it. That guy scares me.
Okay. I don't know who that is.
You wouldn't know who Tyler Badgett is either. Just trust me. YouTube some of his press conferences from last year when he was the Bears starter for 2 weeks. Blows your mind.
Okay.
What do you think about that safety blitz? I didn't see it coming.
Travis.
They're like, why not? He goes, because I was in the weight room getting ripped. They're like, what? You weren't studying film? He goes, I'm not going to be here that long. I mean, he's just so honest and refreshing.
All right, now I got to look that up. Now I'm going to have to look that up. Thank you, Cody Carpentier, for giving that suggestion. All right, let me before we get out of here, let me remind you one more time that we are getting practice getting started for Texas, and the 2-month offer is there for you. orangebloods.com. The practice reports are already there. All the pictures that Jason Sukumel's getting, all the reporting that'll be there, all the great articles, all the coverage, the craziest message board on planet Earth. 60-day free trial. August and September for free, including the Michigan game, including the first ever SEC game with Texas and Mississippi State for you trivia fans. All that'll be covered, and you get a 60-day free trial. Check it out. Promo code is JOINOB24. That is all you need to do, and that is active until the 5th. So you got to get that taken care of. Might as well get it done now. That is only good through the 5th of August. So get it taken care of. All right. Thank you for liking and subscribing and getting your notifications. We'll be back next Wednesday at 8:30 with another edition of The Outsiders. Shout out once again to our man, Jason Dick. We hope everything is going well with you, sir. And don't worry, Bear Dick, your spot will be waiting on you in that lower right-hand corner so we can go quad box and get out of this T formation, because when you direct snap to Bo Edge, Sometimes he says Trey Burke and Ethan Moore and stuff gets weird. And then I start drinking a little too much and I get too slow. Chance starts staring at people and holding cats up to the camera. That is quite a beast, Chance. That is beautiful. Look at that. Look at that monster.
This is who I was staring down. This is my Bengal cat, and his name is Tiger Woods.
Oh, I can tell. I can tell why you were staring, because that animal is running the show.
Yeah, he's a dick.
I can tell. There's, you know what's in those eyes, Chance? Intent.
Oh, no, let me tell you real quick before we get out of here. What I was staring at was this little asshat here. He was glaring at the counter on my kitchen. He was looking up like he was going to jump, and I was trying to get him not to, and he jumped up there, looked at me, and knocked a cup off the counter. Like,
ooh. So you were staring at him, and he was defying you while we were seeing your face.
He will look at me dead and like this, and I'll be like, "Do not do it, Tiger," and he'll go.
That's so great. Oh my God, cats are fantastic. You got to be ready to. You got to be ready to have one, but they're fantastic.
He's a Bengal. He's not a cat.
Okay, not a Bengal. I mean, not a cat. He's a Bengal.
Not a cat. I'm a Bengal man.
There you go.
All right, well, on your
Chance
Bengals
Bond.
note, walk
Bills
like
fan.
an Egyptian and we're out of here.
Bills fan who owns a Bengal. All right, until next Wednesday night at 8:30. Y'all have a great week. Lots of practice notes coming at orangebloods.com. Check that out. We'll talk to you next Wednesday. Until then, we are the